Hello everybody. Came out here to check on my graft on my mango tree, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to think about sunburn and what sunburn is and the sunlight itself. So sunlight, that giant ball, which I'm not going to shine my camera at, fireball up in outer space, right? It's emitting electromagnetic radiation, the entire spectrum, everything from gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, to the visible spectrum that we see and perceive as colors. Beyond that, the longer wavelengths are, infrared and radio waves, okay? So that's what's coming out of that sun. It's a lot of energy, all kinds of different wavelengths, okay? And the leaves are designed to absorb many of those wavelengths, right? Mainly reds and blues. And they reflect the green wavelengths. That's why they appear green. Let's think about now the mango tree and the species itself. Where is its center of origin and its domestication history? Well, it's in the tropics in Southeast Asia, I believe, close to the equator, where there's not big differences in day length between winter and summer. Their survival strategy is to keep their leaves year round. Okay, let's compare that tree to some of my others. Some ornamentals like this poinciana, which loses its leaves every fall. Or all these plumerias right here, which also lose their leaves depending on what time of year it is. Look at their bark. It develops this mutualism with lichen, and it's naturally really light in color. So why is it that way? Well, it has a survival strategy of reflecting most of the electromagnetic radiation coming from the sun. It looks white because it's not absorbing any of those colors or any of those wavelengths. It's reflecting those wavelengths. That means that heat energy is not going into the tree. It's not causing damage to the vasculature, to the cambium, the phloem, the xylem, right? So it naturally has developed this type of bark. It's its survival strategy. Same with this poinciana. So look at this mango tree. It's 15 years old. I didn't plan on keeping this tree, but I was able to keep it alive somehow. A lot of work, but look at its bark. It's very dark. It's dark colored mean. Well, a lot of that's damage from weed eaters and just age, but dark means it's absorbing the wavelengths from the sun. It's absorbing that electromagnetic radiation. It's not reflecting it back to outer space or its surroundings. It's taking in that heat energy, okay? And over time, that causes damage to the tissue. And when I go and I make extreme cuts on my mango tree, I've taken off big center pieces like that, and I top worked it, right? Well, during that process, and here on this limb, I set up this ladder to show you the effects of sunburn. And you come up here on the top, you can see what it's done to this tree. All this bark is supposed to protect the tree. And look, it's soft to the touch. It's very soft. You can hear that sound? It's not solid. It should sound like this. Yeah, that's solid. It's exposing, the parts of the tree that are transporting nutrients. It's not good. It's creating all this micro habitats and microclimates for pathogens, insects, birds, fungi, bacteria, to get started. So when you got something funky growing on your fruit or some insects coming out, well, that's where it started. That's where they overwintered. That's where they hid. Okay, that's where they developed their young. So not a good situation. It gets pretty extreme. So my strategy, I don't like to paint my trees. When I lived in California and I worked in commercial farming, orchards and vegetable farming, a lot of the strategy is for fruit trees is to paint them with a white latex paint. And that kind of does two things. It seals all this up. I certainly don't want to peel this off, right? Like, that's providing a little bit of protection, so I don't want to do things like that too much. But if I put latex paint, that could seal it if I peeled it off first and then sealed it. But really, that white color is just to reflect the sunlight, okay? To reflect that energy back to outer space. So lighter the color, the more it reflects. So I kind of have this positive feedback loop here. Once it rots, it gets dark in color. That's more heat, more rotting. Really not the best situation for the health of this mango tree long term. So I'm thinking about, so I've been trying to top work this section right here, okay? And so here's my graft. You can see the little V notch, hopefully. Try and get that. And that is a carry graft on top. You can see how light colored it is. That's how I know it's carry compared to the normal tree, which is this dark red when it pushes new growth. So here's my carry graft. And I want that graft to take off here and, take over this whole northeast side of the tree. But I have all these newcomers in, and normally I would want to go and start breaking these off, right? Focus the energy on this carry and transform this part of the tree to carry. But I'm actually going to leave this. It's down low. It's not threatening the sun exposure of carry up here. And it provides a little bit of protection against the sun. So for the time being, next 3 months or so, I'll keep that. All right, guys. That's kind of what I think about when I think about mango trees or any type of species of plant that I'm working with. How does it relate? What's its survival strategy, domestication history, those sorts of things. All right, goodbye.